Hi, I'm Matt Chan and I'm at Rogue HQ today, and we're going to take a look at the Rogue Monster Bands. There's endless possibilities of what these things can be used for, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the 5 main things that I use the Monster Bands for. The first thing I use it for is stretching. Most commonly is in my garage gym, I'll pull these things out just to stretch. And one of the great stretches that I do on a daily basis is the shoulder stretch, where you girth hitch it around the pull-up bar, slide your hand through, and then grab onto the band. I'll lay flat on the floor and allow this to open up my shoulder a little bit in different positions. I may even sit up and take the band around my back and allow it to relax, and I'll feel that in the anterior delt. So I'll hold each of those for about 20 to 30 seconds each for a total of about 2 minutes per arm. Once I'm done kind of stretching the shoulder out just a little bit, I'll also use a Monster Band to stretch out my hip flexors. Wrap this at about hip height in a standing position, maybe just between the knee and the hip. Put a little tension on it. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna step through and pull the band all the way up underneath your butt. I like to use a box where then I'll take a step forward, drop the knee down to the ground. And this is what is commonly referred to as the couch stretch, because you can do this on your couch as well. With this band, all it's doing is pulling my femur forward and allowing that hip to stretch just a little bit more. I'll hold this position for a while, up to about 2 minutes, and then I'll switch legs. I'll also use the Micro Mini to warm up my shoulders. One of the things I like to do is band pull-aparts. You grab it with a couple loops on each end, go thumbs up. It's supposed to be pretty easy, and stretch it until it touches your chest. Get about 15 reps of those, thinking about pulling with your scapula. And then what I'm going to do is drop a loop so I can step onto the band, grab it at about a snatch grip, and just basically do a front raise with my arms straight. I'm pressing up the whole time as I perform it, and I do about 15 reps of those. And then finally, I'm going to put it on my back and press like a snatch grip press for 15 repetitions. And I'll do 2 or 3 rounds of that sequence, the band pull apart, the front raise, and the snatch grip press, until my shoulders feel pretty nice and warm. Those are the 3 big stretches that I'll do on a daily basis. After a workout, when let's say I did a lot of pull-ups, potentially a lot of pressing, I like to do a little prehab, if you will, to kind of get some more blood flow into the elbow joint. And what I do is just simply the old triceps push down. But I'll do it for 100 repetitions with a light band, so it feels really easy. And if it's too easy, just grab a little higher on the band. And I'll just flush blood into the elbow joint after a workout to make sure that I don't get that tendonitis feel in my elbow. About 100 repetitions, get as many in a row as you can, take breaks as necessary. And finally, what most people use bands for is substituting movements, especially body weight movements where their body weight maybe is the limiting factor in performing a movement, like a pull-up or a ring dip or even a muscle-up. These are great tools, and because they're varied sizes, they take off more or less weight depending on how thick the band is. Put it onto the pull-up bar and assist myself with a pull-up. Everybody's pretty much aware of that one. You do the same thing with a ring dip. You can do the same thing with even more advanced movements, like a front lever, ice cream makers, so on and so on. Really fun one that can help develop strength and stamina for the muscle up. You take 2 bands and a pair of rings, and what I'll do is I'll first girth hitch one of the rings, toss it over the pull-up bar, and pass the ring through to create another girth hitch. Do the same thing with the second one, and now I can simulate the skill of transitioning a muscle up. And I can do it from a seated position on a floor. If this is too hard, you can also sit on a couple plates to make it a little bit easier, or you can use a bigger band to make it even harder. And the idea is that I'm gonna lean back, touch the chest, sit through, and press. And the way that I use this is to build stamina in the muscle up by doing a lot of repetitions in a row, maybe 3 minutes straight of as many repetitions as I could get, doing the movement correctly. So that's the 5 movements that I use the Rogue Monster bands for most often. A little bit of stretching, a little bit of substitution of movements by decreasing the body weight in a gymnastics movement, but there's countless other ways to use these bands.